SANDMAN Volume 9, The Kindly Ones, is collected in two books in the Portuguese version I own, but I will obviously treat it as a single volume. This collects SANDMAN issues 57 to 69, so we are getting very close to the end of the series, but this volume, The Kindly Ones, is the series climax. It is very hard to analyze this volume. It is very complex. There are many characters and many loose ends being tied in here, but essentially it deals with the path to, or the final path to Morpheus' death. In a previous volume, Morpheus ended up by killing his son. It was out of mercy, actually. It was a way to put an end to Orpheus' miserable existence. But that's the fulfillment of a plan designed by desire to force, in a way, Morpheus to shed his own blood, the blood of his son, to kill him. And the triad, the three witches, are now on the loose to revenge that death and to kill Morpheus. And we can see in this volume how things were going in that direction for so long, how pieces are being tied in for this climatic end of the series. Many things that were previously unexplained get an answer in this volume. There are a few things that are still a bit confusing, and in a way this is a somewhat confusing story arc. There's so much going on, so many characters, but it is very interesting also. We can see how many different characters have contributed to this dramatic end, and we are never sure of what Morpheus has in mind. There is a possibility that Morpheus wants his story to end like this, but there's also the possibility that he is trying to do everything in his power to prevent this finale, but chance and other players just don't allow him to. So basically, we have desire as the main the main one to blame on these happenings. We learn that she is Rose's grandfather. It was Desire that impregnated Rose's grandmother during her long sleep. And we have the three witches using Lyta Hall as their main pawn to distract Morpheus. And Lyta's Hall son, Daniel, is taken from her and in a way killed by Lucky and Puck, but we are never sure who is behind Lucky's actions. We learn by the end of the volume that Lucky himself later realizes he has been manipulated all the way, but we don't know if that was Desire's works, or even if it was Morpheus, the person behind Lucky. So in a way, it is a very confusing volume, but as I said, it's very interesting. It's very crafty from Neil Gaiman, and it is full of really dramatic moments. It is also one of the volumes where the constant, I would say, conflict, although that's probably not the best word to describe it, but where female and male characters, or female and male ideas, are confronting. That has been a constant throughout all the series, a very clear dichotomy between males and females, and we have female-driven arcs and male-driven arcs, and here that dichotomy is very, very visible, and in a way it is the female actions that are destructive and more active, while the male characters are much more passive. This is really a very tough story arc to comment about, but it all ends with Morpheus being taken by his older sister Death, and I'm left with the feeling that some people talk about this as a suicidal moment by Morpheus, but it is just the inevitability of his destruction, although he very much still is looking for a solution up to the last moment. He still is disappointed that there is no other solution, and that he must indeed live with his sister Death. There is a final volume, The Wake, which I will read and review next. But this is pretty much the final moments of the Morpheus tale. Although, obviously, Morpheus has taken precautions for Dream not to cease, and he ends up replaced with Daniel in a new version of Dream, a less dark one, supposedly. The art is by Mark Campbell, almost throughout the entire 12 issues that make this volume, and I really enjoyed Mark Campbell's art. It is in a expressionist style. It's very modern looking, very stylized, but in terms of graphic narrative, it is really, really good, and I think it works very well with this story and the writing. There are a lot of geometric elements to it, and it is quite a mix of order and of destruction. There's this very edgy feel to it. But as I said, although it may seem a little weird and a little too simple in a way, the graphic narrative indeed is very good, and I enjoyed Mark Campbell's style very much. Thank you for watching. Until my next video, bye bye.